Welcome everyone to this week's version of the Mayors and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. Each week we bring you live events from the mayors and supervisors around the area we cover. This week we'll start off with Mike Falk, the Lima Town Supervisor. Mike, how's things going in Lima?
Things here are going okay. Unfortunately, we did have yet another in the long chain of accidents at the intersection of Dorn Road and 5 and 20 this past week. Last year, I did engage the New York State DOT regarding the problem intersection there, and the first step, which is a new traffic study, is being initiated. That's huge. We've had 40 years of accidents since the last traffic study was done. Thank God there have been no fatalities, but we are seeming to be 4 or 5 accidents a year. In Livingston County, the Pfizer vaccine is being administered through Noise and Tri-County Health. If you make an appointment for vaccination, please, please, please keep the appointment. That Pfizer vaccine has to be kept super cold, and there are lots of rules, one of which is you can only open the freezer it's in twice a day. If you back out of your appointment, especially at the last minute, there is no way to reallocate the vaccine, and so it is thrown away. And we do not want to waste the doses of the vaccine when somebody else could be using it. So again, please, when you make the appointment, please keep the appointment. Lima's Agricultural Advisory Board is going to meet Wednesday, January 20th, 7 p.m. here at the Town Hall to discuss the proposed changes to Article 250 in the agribusiness definitions. We are also looking for another member for that committee. If you are involved in agriculture and live in the town of Lima anywhere, please get a hold of me, and we'd be happy to discuss what is involved on that board. Elevator construction continues. The entire shaft is now framed and the fireproof drywall is going up. We are anticipating in the next 2 weeks that the actual mechanism is going to be coming in and be installed. That would be very exciting to see. Collection of taxes continues here at the Lima Town Hall. All offices in the Lima Town Hall have switched to transaction windows only. This includes the assessor, code enforcement, the town clerk, and the village clerk. Transaction windows have been installed, of course, in every one of the doorways. Just knock on the door, they'll slide open the window, and you can do your business that way. Much safer for everybody. The drop box, of course, still available outside. And that's all I have, Chris.
All right, thanks, Mike. Rick, how is everything going in Honeoye Falls?
We're doing well, Chris. Thanks, and it's great to see everyone today. I think while a lot of us would like to see a bit of nice snow on the ground this time of year, as municipalities, I know I spoke with Supervisor Moffitt and Supervisor Campbell earlier this week, and I think we're all a little bit happy from a municipal standpoint that we don't have as much overtime and long hours by the DPW team out plowing snow. We've been pretty lucky this year for sure. The village continues to work on some very active projects. Certainly the Wolfsburger Park Home Development Project continues to move forward through its process, and the meetings in their virtual process have gone better. As stated prior, there's still a long way to go. We appreciate the questions of concern that have been raised, as well as the positive support for the project and the needs of this project. The village has approved the plan to move forward through the community choice aggregation energy purchase process. The village residents will be moving to attaining their energy through community solar and community choice aggregation. And there is projected to be a direct savings to our residents. This will indeed be an opt-out program. And information will be provided to the Sentinel for publishing, as well as 2 scheduled Zoom meetings as of right now. One is scheduled for Wednesday, January 13th, the other for Tuesday, February 9th at 7 p.m. Information can be found on the Village Facebook page, the Village website, and again in the Sentinel. There is also a website, www.fingerlakescommunitychoice.com /events. And there's also a link to the Zoom meeting that can be found again in all these areas. Again, those 2 meetings are on Wednesday, January 13th and Tuesday, February 9th at 7 p.m. And we're really hoping people will jump on those meetings. This will be led by Rocktricity, who is helping us through this process. So that's the information for right now. And again, we're hoping people will join in on those Zoom meetings. Thanks, Chris.
All right. Thank you, Rick. Jerry, what's the update from Rush?
Well, in spite of all that's going on, Rush continues to be the best kept secret. You know that. But I closed the town hall today just to err on the side of caution, because we've got a few cases of COVID contact. No cases confirmed, so I don't want to run anybody into a lather over that. We haven't yet had the testing to confirm, but I think it's best to just be very, very cautious given the upsurge in COVID that we see all around us. And of course, my age, you can't be safe enough. I wanted to also share that in the area of news, Jack Moore, who most people know from Growmore Farms and as the former supervisor of Henrietta, is proposing to rezone 10 acres of land on the west side of Route 15 near the Exit 11 interchange. He wants to put a freight terminal there and a kind of like a Burn Farm convenience store, that kind of thing there. And there's going to be a lot of exposure to that proposal in the next few weeks. I understand he's going to do a public forum at the Wildwood Country Club, and you will also see more of it presented at Rush Town Boards. Pretty hard though, because we're basically virtual, but we will do what we can to make sure that everyone who has an interest is informed. I'm happy to announce that we have a new finance director in Rush. Her name is Colette Rook, and she has already started. So we're looking forward to that. Hated to lose our previous finance director, but he's in Savannah and we are here, so that had to happen. I guess for now, that's about it. And good luck to the rest of you.
Okay, thanks, Jerry. Jerry, with regards to Jack Moore's public meeting that he's setting up, is that an in-person meeting or is that going to be a Zoom meeting?
I believe he is attempting to make that an in-person meeting at the Wildwood Country Club. I don't have details, but that is his intent. The announcements or details that get dispensed over the Rush Town Board meetings will more than likely be Zoom, but I don't know for sure. That depends on his requested time and dating.
Well, if you can have him contact us, we'll put his notice in the paper if that's what he'd like to do.
I'm sure he would like to do that.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Jerry. John Moffett, Supervisor, Town of Mendon. How are we today?
Good, Chris. Thanks again for having us. Just wanted to touch on a few things with the town of Mendon. We will be having our organizational meeting on Monday, January 11th, 7 o'clock at the Community Center, 167 North Main Street in Honeoye Falls. I wanted to let folks know that our EV station is finally up and running. A bit of a process, but these things usually are. But it's at the Mendon Public Library on North Main Street in Honeoye Falls, and the rate that we ended up setting was 13 cents per kilowatt, and there's a 9% fee for using that. The highest rate we pay is just under 12 cents at peak demand at the library. So it's not a money-making venture for us, but we're just trying to recoup that cost of electricity there. So anybody who has either an electric car or one that's has that ability, might want to check it out. It's a level 2 charger, so it does charge up the car a lot faster than a normal home charger off of regular house electricity. Also, as far as the county and town tax bills, as everyone knows, most people have received those unless they're in escrow, and those are coming into town hall. We're asking people to either mail them in or put them in our drop box, which is on the West Main Street side of the building near the entrance. There's a envelope slot there. Please feel free to put your tax bills in there. We're just trying to reduce the traffic at town hall. Also, as we mentioned, I believe last week, is that for exemptions, the governor passed an executive bill, and then it actually was passed by the legislature as well to allow exemptions from 2020 to continue into 2021. Once again, another way to try to eliminate as much foot traffic in and out of town hall. The option to pay your taxes online with a credit card without the 3% fee is not applicable with this. That was because that fee was being paid for by some federal money that was related to COVID, and that the ability to use that money expired on December 31st. So if you want to pay with a credit card, you certainly can through the county's website, but you do have to pay the additional 3%. Our tax rate, again, as I mentioned last week, is flat. So we're very proud of that. We've been 9 years with a flat or reduced tax rate. Obviously, your tax bill may fluctuate depending on if you've, had any additions, put an addition on, or an outbuilding that may have caused your assessment to go up, or if you have an exemption that maybe went on or off for some reason that could affect your town tax rate as well. With the lack of snow, as Mayor Milne mentioned, we're doing a little interior work here at Town Hall, overdue, but we're getting a fresh coat of paint on things, and we're going to be replacing some carpeting if this mild weather holds up. And our comprehensive plan is pretty much done. We will be having a public hearing on February 8th at 7 o'clock at the community center, and that it will most likely wrap up the comprehensive plan, which is something we've been working on for, I believe it's been about 1.5 years now. So we'll look forward to having that done. And, one of our goals in this was to not only upgrade the comprehensive plan, but also to possibly make ourselves available for grant funding for some projects that we have in mind around town. One of them being sidewalks in the hamlet. We've been looking at that possibility for a period of time, but we're hoping with the updated comprehensive plan, we could be available for some grant funding for that. So once again, Happy New Year to everybody, and look forward to a healthy year. We certainly are happy that our communities have been spared from a lot of COVID exposure, but we still need to keep up the pressure and still maintain all of our safety precautions. So, and town hall is open. And so, you know, if you need to come in, you're more than welcome to come in. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Eileen, how are things in Scottsville?
Things are going well in Scottsville. I'd like to give you just a little update about COVID. We had a DPW worker who was exposed to COVID. A friend he had been hunting with tested positive. So we sent him right home. He was tested yesterday and was negative, but he's still going to quarantine. We had the rest of the DPW go home for the rest of the week. They all got tested this morning to make sure they were negative. And as long as they're all negative, we'll have them back at work on Monday. Other than that, the DPW is working regularly, except for this little blip. And during this time, they will be available for emergencies only. So snow plowing, sewer blockages, that kind of thing. But luckily, this all happened at the end of the week, and garbage collection and recycling was all picked up beforehand. So we should be okay. And our one person will stay out of the amount of time that's necessary and then be back at work. I'm working on the budget right now, gathering estimates from our departments on what they need for the coming year. And we will be scheduling budget hearing meeting workshops in March. Our next board meeting is this coming Tuesday, January 12th at 6:30 p.m. It will be remote. So check our site for contact information if you want to attend. At that meeting, the main things that we have is we have 2 public hearings. Both are on the Planning and Zoning Board. We have had a planning board that had 7 members and a zoning board that had 5 members and 2 alternates. Well, we had 2 resignations. We cannot get the right number of any people to volunteer for this position, enough people to volunteer for this position. So we have a public hearing to change the local law, make the planning board 5 members and then the zoning board 5 members and no alternates, so that we eliminate that issue. Obviously, we can't have a 6-member board because that would allow for tie votes. Anyway, we will also be setting public hearings for the February meeting on Tuesday. One of those meetings is to, let me just check here. Okay. To do some transfer of monies from reserves. So one will be to consider the release of monies on deposit in the general equipment reserve to purchase a chainsaw and the amount not to exceed $1,400 for the DPW. The other one is to consider release of monies on deposit in the fire facility reserve for the purpose of radio room upgrades in the amount not to exceed $3,134. There will also be a public hearing at the February meeting to consider local law 3-20212 to override the tax cap for the 21-22 budget year, which we do every year. So those are the main things on the board meeting for Tuesday. The other thing is, as Mike mentioned, we have an issue on one of our roads. I've contacted the New York State DOT to do a study. I have not heard back from them as yet for the triangle area as Rochester Street comes into Main Street and goes off to River Road. It's an area that we do have occasional accidents, and we've had many complaints about that triangle. So I've called the DOT to have them look into it and see if they will do a traffic study on that. And that's about it for us right now. Again, Happy New Year, everyone, and thanks for this opportunity to speak.
All right. Thank you, Eileen. Todd, how are things going in West Bloomfield?
Things are going great. Thank you, Chris. Happy New Year, everyone. Chris, I sent to you a longer detailed explanation about the issue with the tax collection, but just so that everyone is aware, at the Bloomfield branch of Canandaigua National Bank for school tax payments, I believe, received on September 10th. Not all of those payments were recorded correctly. So some residents may see a re-levy on their town-county tax bill for school taxes that is being worked on. It is not accurate, so they're just trying to figure out where those funds went, likely to another school district. But if you could post that whole thing with this week's update, that would be appreciated, because there's numbers and contact information there for the county. In regards to the town, we remain open. There is a lockbox for paying your town and county taxes that is preferred. If you are making a cash payment or need to see the clerk, please call, make an appointment, and she will make herself available to you. Our organizational meeting was this week. It was relatively brief. No significant changes as far as the org structure across the town. I think the most significant change was the mileage rate reimbursement dropped a little bit, so it's now 56 cents. Other than that, pretty much all of the appointees, et cetera, have stayed the same as far as deputies, et cetera. At the county level, last night we had the County Board of Supervisors organizational meeting. Jack Marin will continue to be the chairman for the Ontario County Board of Supervisors. He also serves as the president of NISAC. Our new county administrator, Chris DeBolt, gave his first update last night, and we look forward to getting him more engaged in the county process. He's been meeting with all of the department heads, et cetera. And so that's going to be a significant change for us as we move forward. I have been working with the sheriff on the police reform initiative. That report is due to the Board of Supervisors and then gets sent up to the state by April. It's about a 165-page report at this point in time, and so we continue to work on that. And to the other supervisors and mayor, yeah, glad to have no snow this year. I appreciate the efforts that the highway department is putting in and working on other projects while they are not out busy, plowing a couple of occasional salt runs, but no issues to that so far this year, and we hope that continues as best we can. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Todd, and thanks, everybody. Anybody else have anything that they wanted to add that they may have forgotten?
Yeah, Chris, if I could, the Village of Honeoye Falls monthly village board meetings are normally on the third Monday of every month. And I did forget to mention that January and February, because of the holidays. So January 18th is Martin Luther King Day. We do not meet that evening. We have our meeting on the Tuesday, January 19th, still at 7 p.m. And then February, because of President's Day, which is on the 15th, we will meet on Tuesday, the 16th. So just the day after, but I did want to mention that. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rick. Anybody else?
I will mention also in Rush, I forgot to mention it, that our organizational meeting will take place on January 13th.
All right, great. Thank you, everyone, again for joining us this week on the Mayors and Supervisors Update. We're here every Sunday at 1 p.m., and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you.